Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very special live stream. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thermal Commander Cax, thanks a lot, says tillykke med de 50.000 in Danish, of course. Good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, as I said. But today is live streaming day, and it's a celebration day for the channel surpassing 50,000 subscribers and actually getting really close to 52,000 subscribers. So it's been growing amazingly lately. And of course, we're going to do this with some celebration. I've been doing some special videos over the last 2 weeks. There's been a studio tour. There's been some behind the scenes making of video kind of things going on. And of course, I've been running a giveaway all week, all 2 weeks. And we're going to conclude that today. At the end of today's live stream, we're going to draw the winners. And I'm just going to quickly go over the whole giveaway, how it's going to work. There is a link in the description, and I'm pretty sure you can also find it. I can see it's been posted in chat very recently by Dunkel Aura. There is a link. If you go there and you sign up, you can win one of 3 prizes. The first prize is a 10-inch Fire tablet from Amazon with a 1-year subscription to GameGlass. GameGlass is the main sponsor of today's live stream of this whole celebration event, and they're also going to be coming on here in just a minute. We're going to have, thank you Chris for subscribing on YouTube. We're going to have the 2 founders from GameGlass coming on the stream here in a minute. And then we're going to be talking about GameGlass. We're going to be talking about how the whole thing started, what it is, and where they're going with it in the future. The second prize you can win is 85,000 arcs. That's a lot of arcs. That's a lot of paint jobs. It's a lot of cosmetics. So if you want something to kit out your fleet carrier, there's a good chance for that. And the final prize, as you say, the arcs is also sponsored by GameGlass. And the final prize is a X52 Pro HOTAS from Logitech that is sponsored by me. I spent some YouTube ad revenue to go out and buy a HOTAS that I can give to a lucky winner. Again, there's a link in the description. You can go, you sign up there, and once you're signed up, at the end of the stream, I will be drawing 5 winners, even though there are only 3 prizes, because I will then contact the top 3 of the guys who wins first via the email that you sign up with. So do read your email, and you will have 48 hours to reply back to me on that email. If you do not reply within those 48 hours, it will go to the next one on the list, right? So I will then go down to winner number 4 or 5 if people don't reply. That's why I draw more winners if people don't get back. So this email you sign up with, read it. Please read it, because it's such a shame if you could have won a HOTAS or a tablet or a ton of arcs and you just didn't read your email. Well, so do go down. And also, doing the live stream, I can already see questions are beginning to pop in chat. There's one from David there. Dunkel Aura will be collecting all the questions that you might have, and he's gonna send them to me. So if I don't reply to your question right away during the interviews we're gonna have, then don't worry, I'll get around to them, or at least as many of them as I can, as they will be posted to me directly. So if I don't reply right away, just don't worry, I will get around to it eventually, hopefully. Again, I can't promise we'll get around to all questions, but I'll try to cover as many as possible that we can. Will I get an email if I win? Yes. If you win, you will receive an email. You don't have to contact me, I will contact you, right? So if you win, if your name is drawn and you have a prize that you can claim, I will send you an email to that email that you use when you sign up, okay? Is it open to all countries? Yes, Chris, you can sign up from regardless of what country it is. I should say that when you sign up, if you are the winner of the Fire tablet from Amazon, I will have to share your shipping address or shipping information with GameGlass, because they currently have the tablet physically, so they need to ship it from their location. So of course I need to send them the location to ship it to. So just keep that in mind. Just signed up. When is the drawing? Drawing is at the end of the live stream in about 2 hours. Okay, so let's just see what time is it. We still have a bit of time here. I actually forgot something. Hold on. Be right back. I forgot a very important thing. There we go. I almost forgot. I'm also running limited time merchandise at the moment. In the merch store, there are also links for that. Where you can either, they're like mugs with the logo on, the 50,000 logo. You can also get them as t-shirts, hoodies. Right, go and check it out. I'm gonna take that listing down after this live stream. So you have until the end of this live stream to get yourself a mug or a t-shirt if you want to have something from the 50,000 subscriber celebration. Wow. Okay, so let's close the door here so we get a little bit less sunlight in on the background. There we go. So doing the live stream today, let's just jump in game here. There we go. Doing the live stream today, I will be, I'll be running in some diamonds in Baran. I'm currently on my Sidewinder to Fleet Carrier alt. You can see here I am almost at 3.8 billion credits. And I'm hoping to get some good money in today as well. So I'm just be casually mining in the background while we have these interviews going. Let me just quickly check where we're at. It seems we are actually ready. So you know what? I think I will just get all the windows up so I can actually see what I'm doing here. Like so. And I'll just quickly drag down Andy and Craig from GameGlass and get this interview started. Hello Andy, hello Craig, and welcome. You're now live. We just quickly check. There we go. I need to unmute you guys as well. Just to be able to hear you now on stream, I think.
Great.
Great. Okay, sound levels. I'm just gonna pull you guys up a little bit so we get something that's somewhat in the same range. Let me know in chat if sound levels off. But it seems like it's okay now. Okay, so just to get you, what's going on with my ship here? There we go. Just to get you two guys introduced. Andy and Craig from Craig, right? Hello? Yes, great. From GameGlass, you are both co-founders of GameGlass, and you're here today to, well, we're going to talk about how the whole GameGlass thing started and how it developed and where you are today, and keeping the whole theme of the celebration with being some behind-the-scenes looks at what's happened both with my channel, but now also with GameGlass. But why don't you start by giving everybody in chat a short introduction to what is GameGlass? I mean, in case somebody don't know.
All right. GameGlass is a platform for what we call, I suppose, interaction shards for games, screens to help you play games. So you're playing a game on your PC and you'll have a tablet or your phone next to you, and we make these really beautiful, immersive interfaces and screens to help you play those games. I'm sure everybody here has looked at the ridiculous list of keybinds in Elite Dangerous and the insane list of keybinds in Star Citizen, for example. We give you these really nice sort of designed screens that look like they're from the game. They're not actually ripped with assets from the game. We create them all ourselves, and you can reach out and just tap a button on a phone or a tablet sitting next to your computer, and that will execute that command inside the game. And we make these custom designed for each kind of role and function in the game. So we have one for mining, one for combat, one for just flying around. And we designed them at the moment for Elite Dangerous and for Star Citizen, with some other games coming out soon.
Great. Yeah, we're gonna get back to upcoming games pretty soon, I think. But so when does all this start? Where do you guys? I know you're from different parts of the world. How do you know each other? And how did you start? How does the whole thing start?
We didn't at all before we started talking. So essentially, what happened was Craig posted an image for a screen that he'd been designing for Star Citizen into the Star Citizen subreddit. Mm-hmm. And everyone went bananas over it. And it was like, and he was working on it saying, hey, this is a thing that I'm making, and it's actually going to let you control the game. And everyone just went bananas about it. and he had a little demo that was kind of working, kind of showing that the buttons kind of worked, and everyone just lost their stuff over it. And he set up a little Discord server for it, and I saw it and thought that was just the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And I reached out to him and I said, look, this is amazing. And I've been thinking off to the side completely independently about a platform for these kinds of experiences for lots of different games. But I didn't have a thing for a game. I didn't have the product. I kind of had the platform idea, but he had the actual product, but he didn't have the kind of the platform direction for it. So we just started talking, and we both love Star Citizen. We both play a ton of games. We both kind of think about games the same way, and think about how we wanted to start a business the same way, and how we wanted to kind of treat people and do business. And we just clicked, and we decided to chase the GameGlass idea and put a team together, and we just kept trucking and trucking and trucking, and almost over a year later, here we are.
Great. And when like time-wise are we here?
When did we start?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so I think he posted that image. I think it was November. A year, and it was not last year. December, yeah. Not last year, the year before.
Okay, so about a year ago. Ish, year and a half now.
Yeah, year and a half. And then it kind of took us a while to kind of shape it up to kind of what we wanted it to be as a platform and as a product. And Craig had, and he'll be the first one to admit it, but he was kind of building it with his. He was coding it. I'm holding my fingers up here in little finger quotes, coding it. He's a very, very good visual designer, but he's not a developer, and he'll be the first one to admit that. So one of the first things we did was we got some amazing developers and technical team in to completely rewrite what Craig had done, throw all that junk out, and completely start from scratch and refactor it.
To be fair, what I did worked, and you could use it.
Yeah,
it just didn't work well.
No, I mean that's prototyping, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's right. And it was. I mean, we needed that proof of concept. We needed that ability just to show people that when you tapped a button on your tablet, that the command was executed in the game. Just that basic kind of user interaction was obviously a critical part of that early thing to help people understand just the basic guts of what GameGlass was and what that experience was. And he did that, obviously. But we needed to redo it in a way that was sustainable and scalable and would let us make more of those screens and for more games as well. So we started to build a team that was, people whose job and expertise and career background was in front-end development, and then we added people whose career expertise was in back-end and server and platform architecture development. And we built out kind of a team of kind of 5 or 6 other people, and there's a whole group of us now. And we kind of rebuilt it and built the platform and the architecture for it all. And when we felt like we had that in a good spot, we went out to Indiegogo and thought that this seems to be something that people like, and we wanted to tackle it in a way that we thought was sustainable as a business, where we could really grow it and build it and add to it over time, rather than just kind of putting something out there and kind of have it be abandonware kind of after a few months. So we went out to Kickstarter and ran a little campaign for it.
And I assume that campaign was successful.
Yes, it was crazy. We were it was for me in Australia. It was Christmas everywhere. It was kind of summer holidays, and I was out at a beach house with my family and with another family, and I don't know why we decided that would be a good time to launch an Indiegogo campaign, but we had really small, modest expectations for it. And Craig and I were kind of going back and forth and how much we should make the goal for, and I was kind of really nervous about having it be too much money, and I ended up kind of arguing for it to be lower than what we thought it was. Like the day before I think we put it live, I think I halved the amount of money we were going for, just because I was nervous about how much people would like it.
We had 2 days to put the entire campaign together. Usually people take months and months to put a campaign together. We had 2 days. It was because one of the content creators for Star Citizen was looking to put together a video, and he wanted to feature us. And he thought it would be a good idea if we had an Indiegogo campaign set up so people could support us. So that's where it all came about. And then we had 2 days before his video went live, so we threw it all together.
That's quite a short time frame, I think. Yeah. So
yeah, it was crazy, but it went very well in the end.
So what about, like, let's try to move forward to where we are today. There's already a lot of questions in chat. We're gonna come back to a lot of those here in just a minute. But where are you today? Like, how many people do you have? Is this something you're doing full time, or is it a side gig thing, or how does this work?
We've got lots of people. We've got over 30,000 people that use GameGlass right now, which is amazing.
That's a lot.
I won't tell you exactly, but yeah, over 30,000 people, which is amazing. And you know, split in really kind of interesting ways between obviously Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen. A lot of people that overlap that play both, which is one of the reasons why obviously we picked Elite Dangerous. And Elite Dangerous was obviously it's the game that I played from a space sim when I'm kind of not playing Star Citizen. I've always played Elite Dangerous. So it's really interesting kind of hearing about kind of what overlap we have, and interestingly where we don't have overlap, which is kind of interesting and weird. It's not our full-time job. We all have jobs that we do that pay our bills, but it consumes very close to a full-time amount of time for many of us, and in kind of different times. We ebb and flow a little bit depending on what we're doing, but it takes up a huge chunk of time kind of to make it what we want it to be.
But it's a passion.
It's very much a passion. Yeah, we started it because we love games. We started it because we've loved Star Citizen and the community and Elite Dangerous, and we wanted it to do it and build it in such a way, as I said, that made it sustainable. And we're on our way to that, very much on our way to that. But at the moment, all of those funds are going into making the product, more of the product, not kind of to paying us.
There's a lot of questions in chat regarding platform support. Like, obviously it's available for PC, but what about people playing, especially Elite Dangerous on console? Is that something that you have support for now? Is it something that's coming? And there's also people who've been asking regarding VR, if there's anything. I mean, obviously it's difficult to use a tablet in VR, but
yeah. So you can't use it on consoles right now. There's definitely nothing to announce, and that we're not close to that. I want to set expectations on that, but we are working actively on some projects around console support, and it will very much depend on the game and even sometimes on the console, but it is very much top of our mind because for a lot of these games, for Elite Dangerous in particular, it almost needs console support more than PC does.
Yeah.
There is a way to do it. We have a way to do it. It is not an easy way to do it. Not as easy, obviously, as it is on PC, but there is a way to do it, and we are working on it, but it's not close.
No. Okay.
But we are working on it.
And again, you mentioned it, I think, briefly, was it before we started the stream, that we were talking about using it in VR. I mean, obviously, a tablet or phone is difficult to access when you're in VR, so it would have to be a completely different solution.
Yeah, VR is kind of it's one that's near and dear, and Craig and I both have headsets, but Craig, I think, has done a bit more thinking about the VR side of things. It's kind of one of his kind of passion points for GameGlass, but we'd love to do it, but finding a way to do it is tricky.
Yeah. Somebody asked about Linux. I mean, we could go over the different ways you use it. I mean, you install a local application on your machine that then actually controls the game, that then takes input from your tablet. Is there Linux support for something like that, or is that Windows only? Mac? What about Macintosh?
Windows only right now, but I'm pretty sure that somebody has installed it on Linux. It's just that we don't officially support it.
Okay, but through Vine or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how they would have done it, but
okay.
I'm pretty sure somebody accomplished it.
There's an emulator on Linux called Vine that's used to install Windows applications. I would guess they've managed to push it through that one. Okay. So somebody has apparently made it work on Linux. Great. Can you use voice with GameGlass? No, I think it's a tablet interface or a browser, right? So you can also run it through a browser if you just
Yeah, so I suppose just really quickly kind of how GameGlass works is there's a little piece of host software you install on your PC, and all it does is listen for the keybind commands that GameGlass sends.
Yeah.
So as far as the game is concerned, GameGlass is just another peripheral. It's like a mouse with a billion buttons on the side, or it's like a HOTAS with a whole bunch of switches. So it's just receiving keybind commands. So you can use it in conjunction with voice attack or anything else, as long as your keybinds are set up in a way that they're coherent and you've kind of got them set up the right way. But it'll work with both.
Well, I mean, in one way, yes, Andy, that's 100% true. We do just send keyboard commands to your PC. But for Elite Dangerous, we were able to go a step further, and we actually integrate with the EDDN. So you're able to get a ton of different real-time information on your ship and on current activities that you're doing. Like one great feature for mining is a ring finder. So based on your current location, which we get from the player journal, we're able to detect what rings are around you. So you can easily find some pristine icy rings. So stuff like that, or if you are selling void opals, we know that the last refined mineral in your hopper would have been a void opal, so we can detect that and we can say, hey, void opals, you're able to sell them, and these are the closest locations, this is the most money you're going to make from them, etc., etc.
That's clever, actually using the last refined, because normally you would have to go and search down a drop-down menu or something. Yeah, but I guess it's a good point that it's also it's two-way communication, right? It's not only you sending commands to the game, but the game also sends information back to the screen that you have.
That's right.
And that's actually some of the features I've been finding the most useful when using it. Unfortunately, I mean, one thing I forgot was to charge my tablet before the whole thing started. It's charging right now. I really wanted to show it. It would be great to actually show a live demo here, but it's charging right now. I hope I can get it up and running before the end of the segment here. But yeah, it goes both ways. So you can also get like live information about like how much do you have in your cargo, what's your current cargo status, all that stuff. And something simple as how much bounty is on your current target, so you don't have to sit and go out to the side menu and find your target and look at it there. You have it right in front of you.
Yep,
Let me just quickly see what we have. What's the question here, so we can find it again. Oh yeah, we haven't touched upon that. The whole subscription versus buying individual shard. There's been some questions around that. Is that something you want to quickly go over?
Yeah, so I suppose this comes back to kind of how we wanted to make GameGlass sustainable. All of the games that we support, as everyone knows, there is constant patching and feature releases for them. So we really didn't want to put a shard or a screen out there and then have it be obsolete and junky and just not working in a month or 2 months or 3 months as the game moved on. In order to do that and make it sustainable, we created a subscription model for it. So you could subscribe and get all of the shards for all of the games that we support for a monthly subscription. But not everyone likes subs, and completely understandably, people are like, "Oh my god, not another subscription! I've got Netflix, I've got a bunch of these things. I just don't want another one," and that's completely cool. So if you just want to buy just the 1 or 2 shards that you want, you can just grab those and you own them forever. You get all the updates for them. There's no subscription involved. You can just buy the ones that you want and then you're done. And then as you release new shards, you can decide if you want them or not, or you can just keep using the ones that you bought, plus the free ones that we have for each of the games that we currently support.
Yeah, there are two free shards for each game, right? So you can go and pick those up to try it out and see if it's something for you, and then after trying it out, you can then decide if you want to expand either with a subscription or buying more individual shards.
Yep, exactly. Perfect.
Okay, let me see here. There was another question here. If we can find it again. Oh yeah, good. We're gonna come back to this in a second here. So we talked about this. Yes. So all the information you get, and especially for a game like Elite Dangerous, like market information, like how does the like technically behind the scenes, how does that work? Where do you get your market data from?
Yeah, so there's two
Here is
places
my
actually.
bride to
So we
increase
actually
my
connected
winning
to
chances,
Player
or am I
Journal,
mean my
which is
donation for the
basically just a
awesome.
log file of
Oh,
everything that
Video
you're doing in the
content.
game.
Laughing
which is,
face.
So hold on a second.
Um,
Hold on a second. I just had a thank you. That was just a donation that came in over. That was a little loud, so I don't think people could hear you there. Try again. Thanks for the
hello,
donation.
hello.
Yeah, perfect now.
Better?
No, yeah,
Okay,
it was
great.
yeah.
Yeah, so basically, there's two different ways that we show the data. So the first is the player journal, which is the publicly accessible journal on your computer, well, publicly to you, and that just shows all the information of your current session. So Frontier has some decent support for third-party developers, so that's how all of these applications work, basically, that are getting information on your current play sessions. So it just shows stuff like your current location in the game. It shows, different actions that have been taken on your credits. So, you lost credits, you gain credits, etc. It shows some information about your current status, so your PIP status and whatnot. So we can display all of that stuff on GameGlass. And then the second place is the EDDN. So the same platform that EDDB and Inara use to show all of their market data and everything else. We connect directly to their APIs, and we're able to use that data as well to show you all that information on GameGlass.
So whenever people are like running the market connector and updating market information, that is sent out to the data network, which is then used both for Inara but also GameGlass and many of the other applications.
Yeah, that's right. And we actually, with the exploration shard, we actually send data back to the EDDN as well. So we're actively updating the database as well when people are exploring.
Great. So that is actually almost equivalent to running the market connector if you're running GameGlass at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Okay. Let me see here. Have you considered having a side panel for some of the PC players? Instead of hold on, let me just read this question here. Instead of controlling. What? I don't understand the question. I'll read this again and then come back to it. We talked about the monthly subscriptions. Oh yeah, people asking about macro support, like if you can like pips for macros. Like could you do some like custom if you wanted, for instance, to I don't know, have a specific pip loadout for Elite Dangerous or something. That's something that's supported, or you're planning, or
Pip.
Go ahead, Andy.
I was say so pip assignment is actually it's kind of a macro under the hood already. Mm-hmm. So if you hit reset for your pips, it kind of executes a little macro behind the scenes to get them back to that sort of equalized standard place. So we're kind of doing a couple of those things under the hood already. Custom macros is not something we currently support. Not for pips.
No. Okay.
Well, that actually kind of branches into another one of these questions here, where somebody asked about customizable keybinds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the, I suppose, jumping the gun a little bit. That's the big one that we're working on at the moment. I always want to say soon and close, but who knows with these things. But we are the next big release that we're going to be putting out there is going to be allowing people to have their own custom keybinds. So at the moment, we have essentially a GameGlass keybinds file that people kind of need to be compliant with, because we send, when you hit a button, we send W for a certain keybind, for example. And if you don't have that command set to W, then it won't fire. It'll fire the wrong command. So that's okay. You can kind of adjust your keybinds to be compliant with what we set up. But I don't know about you, but I'm sure a lot of the people listening, you've got your keybind set up, and it took you weeks and weeks to get them dialed in, and you don't want to be messing with them because you've got them just perfect. And what we're going to be letting you do is have your own keybinds set up and your own custom keybinds, and then GameGlass will just work with whatever custom keybind file you have going. So that won't. Maybe we're looking at doing some things with macros, but it's really more about doing custom keybinds, letting people have their own setups.
Yeah, I mean, for Elite Dangerous, you have the option to have 2 keybinds for the same function, so that's at least how I've been running it, just using the main row for my own keybind and then the second row for GameGlass. So there is a definite workaround there.
Yeah, so it's not the hardest thing to set up at the moment, but we definitely understand that it's just easier if we just work with whatever keybinds you've got. Especially some people might have that second column, for voice attack or for something else. So
yeah, of course.
This way, it's going to be a much smoother experience for everybody, especially for people getting going and starting with GameGlass. They don't have to then get it all configured and then have to spend half an hour mapping all those keybinds across.
Absolutely. I think this leads nice into talking about where, what's coming. Like you mentioned there was an update with the custom key bindings for Elite, but what about some of the other games? What do you have that you can announce now? That you have announced already in the pipeline, or what has been asked?
Nothing. Yeah, so nothing we're able to announce yet. But what I can say is that it's really interesting. So the COVID is a thing. COVID is a thing that has. You might have heard of it.
Yeah, briefly.
We've been very lucky. We're a remote team. We work literally from all over the world. Craig's in Canada. I'm in Australia. We have people in the States. We have our backend developers in the Netherlands. So we have people all over the world that are working on this. A lot of us work from home. So in a sense, it hasn't disrupted us in a major way. But in a different way, it really has, because we have other day jobs that we are doing, and those day jobs have been disrupted, and our family lives have been disrupted. So we've been taking this time to work on some really foundational things under the hood for GameGlass. So things like custom keybinds, things like a new refactor of the host application that is going to give us some really big and exciting new capabilities in the future. We've been working on a lot of those things behind the scenes. They're not kind of the really exciting things, but they're really setting us up for some very big things in the future. What we are working towards, though, is we want to get GameGlass to a point where people can create their own experiences. We're not quite ready to talk and to announce the details of it yet, but we definitely want to get to a point where if you've got an experience you want to use GameGlass for a game that you want to use it for, you'll be able to create your own experience and have your own custom keybinds and your own sort of setup and your own kind of buttons for it and your own interface for it, and you'll be able to support the games you want and the experiences that you want to use GameGlass for.
So just to understand this, that means you could potentially take it for whatever game you wanted to, and then set up your own, basically build your own shards for that game. Is that?
Yeah. Look, it's again not ready to announce the details yet, but you'll be able to pick whatever game you want to play. You'll be able to create your own visuals for it to a degree. And I know it's weird. It's one of those things where you hear a developer on a live stream saying something they think is really innocuous, and then the community decides that what they said was, you're now sending rockets to the moon with your dog.
Yeah.
At all, they meant something completely different. So I'm trying to temper expectations. But yes, you'll be able to pick a game that you want to support, that you want to play, and you'll be able to build your own experience with it. That'll be your own visuals, and it'll be your own commands. And the degree to which you can do all of that is what we're not quite ready to talk about yet or show anyone yet. But you'll be able to create your own customized experiences for whatever game you want to play.
Perfect. Can you plot your routes on it? What do you mean? No, plot routes for systems? No, I don't think it has a system map. I think that would be... I don't think there's an interface. It's not you can't send external commands into Elite for plotting maps.
Right? No, that would be very cool, though.
It would be. Yeah. God, I would love that. I mean, if you could just... I mean, you can, of course, read your current destination. I think that's actually one of the info panels you have, is you can get information about your current system. So before you even arrive in system, you can just scroll through the system loadout if that data is available. So obviously, if you're out in the black, it's less likely that information will be available. But if you're cruising around the bubble, I guess it would be more likely.
How cool would that be though? If you had like a little Galactopedia shard and you could just kind of pick Sothis, or you could kind of pick the Horsehead Nebula and just tap it, and it would set that destination for you, and then you just tap your hype. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I would.
No, you can't do it, but that would be super cool.
I guess I mean, from a game developer point of view, it's always a balance between giving third-party tool developers access to as much information and access to do as much as possible, without people going out and making it too easy to just outright build a bot for the game.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, it's a really interesting point, and we've had a lot of conversations with developers for the games that we support, and a bunch of other games developers that kind of can't talk about, but we're always really respectful when we talk to them about what experience they want players to have with their games, and making sure that GameGlass doesn't take that experience in a direction that they kind of don't want it to go. And you are absolutely correct in that it's always this line you're treading between convenience and making things easy, and taking away some of the experience of playing the game in the way that they want you to play it. And it's a tricky balancing point, because that balance can be different for everybody as well. So what someone thinks is convenience, another person thinks is a hack, or is taking away what is the core of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's now with GameGlass, where you have you have control over basic functionality, and actually also some advanced functionalities in some cases. That's relatively, I think, relatively straightforward. I don't think there wouldn't be anyone thinking that that would be counted as a cheat or a hack. I mean, but if you look at something like voice attack, you have a lot more options there, where you could actually begin to make a lot of automated small scripts that would do like automate part of the gameplay, and then finding that balance between when is something just a macro that enhances your player experience, and when is something an outright like borderlining a bot that actually plays the game for you. That's a fine line to walk.
Yeah, and Craig actually does a lot of thinking. You know, when Craig is designing the shards for it, he spends a lot of time thinking about, you know, what is enjoyable about this game mechanic that we want to support, and how can I make it more enjoyable and more fun and easier, and and more functional and more accessible, and that intersection of all of those things is super hard to find. And maybe Craig can talk a bit more about that, but yeah, he does a lot of work trying to find that sweet spot.
Yeah, it's sounds ridiculous, but it's actually really complicated to my job is to play the game and get a really good understanding of how users use that specific function. For example, like when I was exploring in ED, I had to, you know, I'd never explored before in ED. I played, 5-6 years ago, before Horizons and whatnot. I think right when it first came out, actually. And then I hadn't played in a long time, so I had to relearn how to play the entire game first off, and then for exploration, I'd never done anything like that, so I had to, make enough money to figure out how to get an exploration ship, and then figure out how to get out of the bubble, and spend the time figuring out what would be useful, what wouldn't be useful. So the first iteration of the exploration shard was mainly based around being in the bubble, and it provided a lot of data for users that we generate for stuff that had already been discovered within the bubble. But the problem with that is it's not really helpful for exploration. Sure, it's great for just your regular Joe that's going around the bubble and wants to find some information on a system. So you can target any system, and on GameGlass you can see all the data about that targeted system. So if you're looking to make some money, and people have plotted routes to make a bunch of money with exploration, you'd be able to see that information on GameGlass, no problem, because it exists on the EDDN. But the problem is when you're out in the black and you're out of the bubble, that exploration data doesn't exist. So the first version of our exploration shard, when you went into a new system and you started doing your FSS scans and everything like that, that new data wasn't actually showing up in GameGlass because it didn't exist on the EDDN, and that's where we're getting our information from. So that was one of like the main updates we've done for ED since then, is we've integrated with the EDDN, so all of the information that you're sending. So, well, I guess that you're getting. So, when you're exploring planets and bodies and whatnot, then that information is sent to the EDDN. Then we pull it back right away. So in just a few seconds, it shows up on GameGlass. So you get all of your currently explored system data as well. So it's easy to find systems that that have never been explored on the EDDN at least. And it's just a nice user experience update. So that's just one example of how the gameplay is so important into designing these shards, because you need to really understand it to create a good experience.
Now I'm just gonna. This is just actually an idea when you said that. Of course, you're storing your own system as you explore them, and I don't know if this would even be possible, but like keeping a log of the systems that you have visited, because right now in Elite there's no way for me to go in and see. I want to see the list of the exploration data I have.
Yeah. So the problem with that is it's not in a single file anywhere. And if you modify those files in any way, and I'm not exactly sure the lifetime of those files either, because I don't think that they keep every single file, because each session you play generates a new log file.
Yeah, so you have to scan
know,
like tons and tons of files to figure that out. And
Yeah.
when did people last stock and sell, and what did they sell and what didn't they sell? Yeah, okay. That's a bit to keep track of. There was some few questions, some technical questions that we just quickly want to clarify. There was some questions regarding how GameGlass works together with voice attack or other control inputs. And I think we briefly touched upon it that yes, you can make it work together, but I think you would have to make voice attack and GameGlass agree on which key bindings to use, right?
Correct.
Yes, so if you make voice attack and GameGlass use the same set of key bindings, then they would definitely work together at the same time. Will it work on iPad? Is there going to be support on it in the future? I believe it already does, right?
Yeah, it works on iPad right now. Yeah, absolutely. It has from the very beginning. We have apps. We have an app for GameGlass, which is access to the shards on the iOS store, the Amazon store, and the Google Play store.
And the Windows Store.
And Windows Store. Okay, so if you have a touch-enabled device that runs either macOS, Android, Amazon's, I don't know what they're calling it, their operating system, via tablets, the Windows Store, a Windows Phone or tablet, or if none of those, you can use the browser interface, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean, I would think that's safe to say that if you have something that has a touchscreen, it's probably going to be able to run it somehow.
Yes, with caveats. There are minimum specs for like which operating system and which browser. But if it's not 50 years old, then chances are it'll work.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's a relatively recent device, then
yeah. Yep.
There's a question quickly there. What was that? Okay, there was not a question around consoles, but we talked about that. It's not supported yet, but maybe at some point.
Yep.
Okay, we have here from one says, I'm currently using GameGlass, and one thing I wish you guys can add for the exploration shard is if you can give us a list of geological and biological signatures on planets. Okay.
I think we already do that, Craig. I think we mark if there are.
No, yeah, that data is that data is a little harder to get. It's not something that's default. I believe it has something to do with the codex, and I think we've looked at it before, but it's not something that's easily returnable through query. So we just haven't had the time to implement that. Okay. But it is a good idea, and that's not the first time we've heard that. So it's definitely something we want to look into.
Do you remember a while ago they changed how planets generated biologicals? When it used to be like you would scan it would take you like 45 seconds as you were scanning it for their proc generation thing to decide if there were going to be biologicals or whatever on the planet. I think they changed it.
Yeah.
And that was when around that time we were looking at it and they were kind of messing with how that happened. So not right now, but yeah, I agree that would be cool to show.
There was somebody asking about the support for multiple screens. So if everyone wanted to run, let's say, 2, 3, 4 tablets at the same time with different shards, is that doable?
Yep. Absolutely, go for it. We haven't hit an upper limit on it. Yeah, if you've got 10 of them, I'd love to see a screenshot. I don't know if you're running a whole bunch of them. We don't artificially limit it in any way. It all just runs off your Wi-Fi network.
Unless you're on a free account. If you're on a free account, you have access to one device.
Yes. So
Okay.
if you're a subscriber, or if you've purchased any one shard, then you can have the free shards and whatever shards you've purchased on as many screens as you like. So you can have combat on one screen, and then you have flight controls on a different screen, or exploration on one screen, and then mining on a different screen. You can mix and match between phone views and sort of iPad, tablet views as well.
You see, we actually have Commander Cax in chat who says he's running 4 tablets. So there are definitely
Awesome.
someone out there who's utilizing it to its full potential. That's for sure.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, and another thing actually is when you're a subscriber, you also have access to customize your theme. So if you've got a fancy setup on your device or on Elite Dangerous, like you've modified whatever it's called. What is that called? The graphic filters, or I forget what it's called. But if you've
the
modified
UI matrix thing.
Yeah, the matrix. Yeah, that's right. If you modified that, then you can match it up. You can match GameGlass to your UI.
Yeah. So the interface in GameGlass looks similar to what you would get in the game. Perfect.
And there's a special down-to-earth astronomy.
That's correct.
Wow.
I was just going to say, yes, I was just talking to the team about it because we forgot about that. I was just talking to the team about it today. So we're going to have that out this week for everybody. So I can resend you that image, or I can drop it into the Discord. So
I think I actually have it somewhere. Let me see if I can.
There is a special down-to-earth astronomy theme that we've created just for
me.
Just for you for Elite Dangerous, and it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm matching the channel colors with the green accent and the white. I'm really looking forward to that. So if you haven't already, that's for subscribers, right? So you have the Glass Pass.
Yes, or if you've purchased any shard.
Oh, any shard. Okay, that was what I wasn't 100% sure about.
Yep.
Actually, Andy, custom themes are for subscribers only.
I thought so. Okay.
You're right. Yes. Yep.
Let's see here. I have a gaming PC and my workstation. Could I run it on one of my workstation monitors and have it activate stuff on the gaming one? I would assume yes, right?
Is your work monitor a touch monitor? I mean, you could use it with a mouse, I guess, but I don't think that would be a super great experience.
No.
But you would get the data back. So as long as it's on the same Wi-Fi network, sure. I mean, because you can use GameGlass in a browser, it should technically work.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically you can get the interface up. If you have a touchscreen, then you can click it, or you can click it with your mouse. Or if you just want to use it as an information panel, then definitely. So yeah, any screen on the same network, pretty much. Would it run on Raspberry Pi? Then we're back to the Linux support, I think, and the answer there was somebody else made it work, but not officially supported.
Correct.
Not officially, but it is, as I said, some of the work we've even done on consoles is kind of around kind of that Raspberry Pi kind of base.
I think the question is if you can run a Raspberry, if you have a touchscreen attached to a Raspberry Pi.
Right.
I think that was actually what it's meant. I don't know, because I don't think anybody would run Elite on a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, no, that's actually, I think we had someone recently within the last week or two that did exactly.
Run the Elite on a Raspberry, or run a Raspberry as the
yeah. Sorry, ran GameGlass on a Raspberry Pi attached to a touchscreen.
Okay. So you could, if you wanted to build your own like home Commander cockpit or something, you could just put Raspberry Pis in the desk everywhere and embed touchscreens.
Yeah.
That would actually be pretty cool. Can use my MacBook, yes. are the communications between the devices and are they secure? I work on my PC, so anything that has inputs over the network have to double check. Okay, I think that's something you will have to check with your. But again, if you're running on your work PC, I don't guess you're running the game on your work PC. I'll just see if I can find another good question here.
So just on that, so what the way we do is when you sign into GameGlass, that login goes to our server, but all of your commands that you send to a game, they just go between whatever tablet you've got and your PC. They don't get transmitted over the internet to us at all. They are just over your local Wi-Fi between your tablet and your PC. So it's as secure as your local Wi-Fi is. If your local Wi-Fi is secure, you're good. If your local Wi-Fi is just unsecured with no password and you're displaying your network name, then maybe you want to have a look at that.
Yeah. Okay. So everything stays within your local Wi-Fi.
Correct.
Perfect.
Yep.
What was that? There was another one here. Where did they go? So many questions, and I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to go through all of them, but I'm going to try to pick some out. Where was it? I disappeared again. Oh yeah. Is there any other games that you're considering for GameGlass at the moment? You said about you want to make the custom experience at some point.
Yes. So our focus right now is on letting people or building the tools to let people build the experiences they want for any game rather than us dictating what game GameGlass is available for. So that's our current focus, but we are absolutely still looking at Euro Truck Simulator. We are still looking at Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, the new one. So there's a bunch of other games as well that we've looked at. We're looking at Subnautica, we're looking at No Man's Sky, we're looking at a bunch of those games. And those are ones that have proven popular. We survey our community semi-regularly, and those ones have been popular for our community fairly consistently. So we're still looking at those, and there's some bespoke experiences we want to build for some of those games that are really tightly integrated with those games that we'd love to be able to do. But right now, our focus is on letting people build really cool stuff for whatever game they want to play, not what game we think GameGlass would be good for.
That makes sense, absolutely. So I think it would be a good time to just quickly let people know if they want more information. There should be a link in the description where they can go directly to your homepage. You can go and check it out there. But if they want to stay up to date with news, what would be the best place to do that?
Best place is Discord. I will get you a link for that. But we're active on Discord. We have a insanely, ridiculously wholesome community on Discord. A bunch of people that play a lot of these games and give us really amazing feedback. And a lot of the feedback, when Craig was kind of working on those designs, one of the things that's been really key for us is we're posting those designs as we're in that development phase really consistently and constantly, and we get incredible feedback from that community on that. So not only is that the place to get kind of news on what we're doing, but it's also a place to give us feedback and to help us make these experiences as good as they can possibly be.
Yeah, so someone's sitting out there with this amazing idea, then get to Discord and post it there.
Yep.
Obviously, there's.
You can also follow us on Twitter at GameGlassGG, or you can just visit our website at GameGlass.gg.
Perfect. And again, I will make sure the Discord. Dongle already found. Perfect. Thank you, Dongle. Already found the Discord invite link, and it's been posted in chat. Oh, it's a good rock. Okay. Thank you to Andy and Craig for taking the time to drop by and have a chat, and thank you a lot for the prizes that we're gonna be giving away here in about an hour's time. I'm gonna run over that again here in a second, but definitely some tablets, a tablet and a subscription to GameGlass up for grabs as the main prize.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and congrats on 50K.
You're welcome.
I wanted to say Yeah, that's super cool. As when we first started talking, I did tell you that you were, as I was just getting into Elite Dangerous, you honestly were one of the big influences on helping me understand the game and helping me kind of go from that. What is this ship? What do these buttons do? What is a pip? What the hell is going on here? To making your first million and making your first 10 million and upgrading to a new ship and trying to figure out what the hell is this thing called engineering. Your content honestly really did help me a really long way and really did influence me getting into the game and learning to really love it. So congratulations on that 50k. Thank you for all the work you do for the community, all of the content you put out there. It makes a huge difference to people that play this game. So thank you for being so awesome.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, thanks a lot, guys, for dropping by. And yeah, as I said, in about an hour's time, we're going to be drawing some winners for the giveaways, and we're gonna go over all the prizes here in a second. But I just want to give you a final thank you, and I'll talk to you guys again at some point.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Yeah. Bye. Okay, just got Andy and Craig out of the chat like that. Okay. Now, this has not been the most effective mining trip. I've not been been mining with half attention, half paying attention to chat and questions at the same time. So probably missed a few good rocks there. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed that interview, and that you got a bit of understanding about what GameGlass is and what you can do for it. All the questions that you guys have been posting, again, sorry for those I didn't get around to. But they have all been posted in the Discord server that we're using to coordinate this event. And again, if you want if you have further questions for them, of course, there is the link for their Discord, and you can go where you can talk to both Andy and Craig about the questions over there. But let's just quickly go over the different prices once again, so you know exactly what it is that is up for grabs. While I try to find a good rock, this is not going to be a very good mining trip, but that's okay. It's just some casual mining. But the one thing I found was really interesting was some of the things that Craig said, with that it's fun. Like, me as a player have a hard time understanding what you, from a developer's point of view, what is easy to get your hands on, like what information is easy to get your hands on and what is difficult. Like, I never knew that it was more difficult to get your hands on information on what like surface sites was on a planet versus just getting information about the planets. I would assume that was all in the same place, but apparently it's not. That's actually quite interesting to get that little bit of insight into that. Ooh, 33%. I'll definitely take that. Anyway, so the prices. The prices are: there is a 10-inch Fire tablet from Amazon with a 1-year subscription to GameGlass. That's the main price that's up for grabs, and that, of course, is being sponsored by GameGlass. They have also sponsored 85,000 arcs for Elite. So you can go ahead and you can get yourself some nice paint jobs, some ship kits. So if you plan to get a fleet carrier in the future, then there's also an option to go and do that. Links for the giveaway, of course, have just been posted. And the final price is a X52 Pro HOTAS. That is sponsored by me, something I've spent some of the YouTube ad revenue on, going and go out and buy one of those. So that's gonna be shipped out and sent to a lucky winner in the coming days. But again, we're gonna draw the winners in about an hour's time. Right now I have about 10 minutes just to get some mining, give you a chance to talk to you guys for a bit, and then I have a. Where is it? I have a whole long list of other content creators who is going to join me here in about 10 minutes time. And we're going to be talking, again, sticking to the theme, being behind the scenes. We're going to be talking about how they create their content. I already showed you how I make my content in the video I posted earlier this week. Just get some water here. But we're going to be talking, because the way I do it is not necessarily the truth and the only way to do it. There are definitely lots of other people who have lots of other workflows, and that's what I want to talk to them about. So I've invited a few content creators on, both to do videos, but also other platforms or other media, other types of content, various sizes, to try and get give you guys an insight into that. So it's gonna be kind of like a roundtable, but okay, I have a suicide limpet here. Great. It's gonna be kind of like a roundtable, but we're not really gonna be talking directly about the game. It's gonna be a more meta discussion where we're gonna be talking about how videos are created and their workflows and that kind of stuff. We have Commander Razorlight saying, looking forward to your 1,000. I assume that should be 100,000 subscriber celebration. Yeah, me too. And at this rate, it's gonna be a lot sooner than I first F for the limpet. A lot sooner than I first anticipated. That's a good point there, Laura. There's also, of course, the limited time merchandise that is running, and that listing is going to be taken down at the end of this live stream. I already saw there was someone who bought a mug here during the live stream. Oh, that's some low temps. But you can get yourself a mug like the one I have here, with the special 50,000 celebration logo that's been designed specifically for this event. They also come in t-shirts, hoodies, and sweaters, and that kind of stuff. So go over and check it out if you want to have a chat. So if you want to get your, if you want to get your limited time merchandise for the celebration, as I said, the listing will be taken down later today once the live stream is over. Okay, let's get this rock mined. I've really not. I mean, it really shows how much difference. I don't know if I've missed some rocks doing the talk with Andy and Craig. I'm not really sure, but judging from the number of limpets I've been using compared to how much cargo I've gained, I've not been doing a very good job. I mean, I'm at 70 tons for about. How much mining have I done? Done almost an hours of mining. That's not a very good result, to be honest. Oh, it's okay. Loki says, gotta order a Commander's t-shirt. They look awesome. Yeah, I really like that that design as well. And it's like, what I like about it is it's subtle enough that you can wear it, like, and people wouldn't probably notice, and people who didn't play Late Dangerous wouldn't notice there would be anything, just some print, right? But if you spot another elite player, they will instantly know that that you're dealing with another commander. And I really like that idea. Oh, that's what nice. 70 tons while doing an interview is acceptable. Multitasking is for girls. Yeah. But no, I haven't really been paying much attention to either my positioning while I was mining, or I was basically just, if I saw a rock that seemed like I had a decent amount of low temps, I would just run up to it, mine it, and I would be too far away for it to be efficient. And yeah, I think it's fun because it really shows how much different it makes whether you actually pay attention to your mining and you spend the time positioning your ship correctly and try to be a little bit more optimal in your prospecting and stuff like that. Why the Discord thing is still on the screen? Because I haven't muted it. It was just used when I had guests on, but I can easily just mute that. Is the power distributor not modified? No, it's not. This is on my Sidewinder to Fleet Carrier alt. In case you don't know, when the whole Fleet Carrier thing was announced, thanks for all the subscriptions, by the way. In case when the whole Fleet Carrier was announced, I took one of my alt characters, reset him back to a Sidewinder, and I've then been trying to see if I can get him from Sidewinder to Fleet Carrier before they launch. And you can see right now here I'm at 3.8, almost 3.8 billion credits, so I'm definitely getting there. I have a whole video series on it. You can go and you can watch that if you want to see the steps that I've taken. I haven't posted any news updates on this character for a while because it's pretty much been a lot of this. A lot of mining in a limited engineered Python. I think the only thing I engineered on this is the frameshift drive. The power distributor is not engineered. And obviously I don't have access to Guardian tech or anything like that. And it didn't nosedive into it, so that's something. Well, it's a small thing, I guess, yeah. Okay, nothing on that one. Let's just get... let's try to actually do this right. What time is it? I still have a few more minutes. Am I going to build a cutter for mining? No, I think I'm going to stay in this until I have the 5 billion. But if you're thinking more in general, then maybe. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens after the next update, where there are going to be good hotspots located, because obviously the hotspots are going to be re-rolled. So yeah. Wait, what are the prices? Isn't the location of Raxler? No, I think even if I asked for cheer, they wouldn't give it to me. But yeah, well. I'm grinding to the Python. Watch my build. I have a... hold on. Just get clear of this rock here. If you go to the Commander's Toolbox... No Pulse Wave. No Pulse Wave. If you go to the Commander's Toolbox... I'll post a link if Dunklord doesn't beat me to it. There we go. Ha! Okay. Okay, you did beat me to it. There's already a link for the Commander's Toolbox. Oh, someone bought a mug. I haven't set up that notification very well. Thank you very much. And for the follow on Twitch. No, where were I? What were we talking about again? Wow, I just completely lost it there. Oh yeah, ship builds. Commander's Toolbox, there's a whole list over there of all the different ship builds I've made videos on that are still relevant. So you can go over there and you can find the link for the Python build. It's not the build I'm running right now. The build here only has it's the same build as the Python build located over there, but this one only has the frame shift drive engineered. That's the only difference. There we go. Let's just get... Okay, we still have a few more minutes until we're gonna be pulling down people here, so let's just see if we can't find a good rock in the meantime. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. Oh, 20%, I'll take that. Yeah, you're actually right, Hector. The FSD of the Python is not amazing. That's why I've engineered it, because the jump range was just not... I couldn't live with that short of jump range that it had engineered, so that's why I decided to spend a little bit of time unlocking faster just to get the engineer, to get the FSD. Andreas says, wait, hotspots get reset. How does that work and how often does it happen? This is the first time it's happened ever, so... How often? Well, we don't know. But the reason why the way they're being reset is they're being re-rolled with the materials that are in the hotspot. So the hotspots are still the same location. However, what used to be, let's say, a Painite hotspot could now be an Alexandrite hotspot after the fleet carrier update. And they're doing this because they're adding tritium. So they added a new material. So they needed to, instead of adding more hotspots, they just decided to put that into the pool and then re-roll all of them. And that of course means the triple overlapping hotspots in Baran will most likely not be a triple low temperature diamond hotspot anymore. That means we just have to go out and locate new ones. So keep that in mind. But again, how often this happens, I guess as often as they add new materials, which has happened once so far. So yeah. Do I prefer using the cutter or the Python for low temperature diamond mining? That depends how much time I'm planning to spend. Lately, I've been mainly using my Python because I prefer these shorter trips that takes about an hour to an hour and a half. But if I feel like, hey, today I just want to go and do a lot of mining, then I might take out the cutter, because it has more cargo, it can stay in the build for longer before I have to go and sell. But I might also look at the prices, like the stations available and the demand. If the demand is only like around the 2,000 mark, then I might go for the Python. But if the demand is over 5,000, then I could easily go for the cutter instead. So there's a lot of factors that take into play which of the mining ships I'm going for. I just got to get over here instead, better position. So we don't know if they will still patch the triple hotspot. Well, we know it will be patched. We know that it's not gonna be a triple hotspot after. I mean, well, we don't know for sure, but chances are very slim. But it also means that there are good chances for there will be other triple hotspots elsewhere. So give it some time and we'll find a new one. Leo, yes, you don't need, but I would recommend that you go for 10 times your cargo hold in demand when you are finding a good sell location. Which actually makes today's prices a little interesting. If we just quickly update this here. You can see today we have a station here. Just zoom in a bit so you guys can see it. We have a station here with a really good price of 1.7. But the demand is really, really low. So question is it better to go to this station here with a low demand, or is it better to go to something like this station here, for instance, where the prices are lower but the demands are higher? I think it's still worth going to this station up here, but I'm not sure. Well, I'll probably start by going to this one and see what prices I get, and then go to this one as a backup if the prices are low. Okay, it's time to get people in the chat, so let me just, over here on the other screen, begin to pull down people here so we can begin this next section.
Plenty of those as well.
Hello, Yamex, I'm just dragging people down, by the way.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. Suddenly, interrupting. Okay,
sorry if I interrupted you guys mid-chat.
That's alright.
Nerding out a little, yeah.
Yes, let me just quickly get the Discord overlay up again so we can get everybody on screen here. Okay, so let me just quickly do a get my voice back here. Let me just quickly do an introduction to who we have here and what we're gonna be doing. I have Commander Ascorpius, who I assume a lot of you will know for making more storytelling YouTube videos, animated YouTube videos. I have Kai Sen from Elite Week. I have Plater, who also makes Elite Dangerous YouTube videos and live streams. And I have Yamex, who of course also make Elite Dangerous YouTube videos and live streams. And the point of the talk today was to go over the different workflows you guys go through when you make your content. I've already shown people what I do when I make my videos, but I know some of you guys, or at least one of you, know it makes it very, very differently than I do. So I thought it could be fun to do a chat about that. But yeah, I think we should just start with the whole the pre-recording phase. So if we just start from the top, Scorp, do you wanna talk about the steps of what you do before you start recording?
Oh, right. Before I start recording, you might want to go to one of the others first. Mine's involved.
Okay.
Unless you, I can tell you. Like, first, I write massive scripts, and then I record all of the audio, and then I clean the audio, and then I start making the video. But that I have to set out like 3 or 4 months of time to make a video.
Yeah, because you post a lot less frequent, right? And you script.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you script your videos like word for word.
Absolutely. Yeah, everything is planned.
And what about like, how detailed do you do? Like, here I want a shot from this angle showing this, and here I want a shot from this angle showing that, or how detailed do you do your scripts?
What I'll generally do is I'll have like a version of it that plays out in my head as I'm writing it, and then I will press. Sorry. Then what I'll do is I'll write down in the script where I want specific scenes. So if I want somebody typing something into a console, I'll put that in there. If I want particular emotions, I'll write that in there. So I'll put like little director's note as I'm writing the script, and that helps me when I'm actually recording the footage. I kind of know when I want like my facing reverse shots to kick in and stuff like that. So yeah, sometimes if I'm very patient, I will do storyboards as well, but I have to be very, very patient to do that. Most of the time it's all in my head anyway.
Okay, makes sense. Kai, are you with us? I see Kai is still muted.
Absolutely, I'm here.
Great. So, could you just quickly update people on the videos you do? Are you with Elite Week now, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, Elite Week split off from Loose Screws and is now going to be an independent podcast and will continue on the YouTube channel. So I do a couple of different kinds of content. I've created a couple different. One is the like weekly roundup of news items and such, and that just starts with I keep a text window up all week on the second screen, and as I'm constantly watching your videos, Ascorbius, Yamix, Plater, and everyone else in the Elite Dangerous community, as well as podcasts and whatnot, I put a link to it, make a little sort of summation of my thoughts on the video that was made, and I just keep that up. And then once a week I go through and record it all, put down sort of the, one spot where people can go to get hyperlinks to everything that happened in the week. And then I just record that as an audio and pair that up with sort of pre-selected videos. I don't make videos the way you do where you're streaming and like your live screen is up. I just create that kind of a content for the wrap up.
Yeah, so you run purely B-roll on top of the audio.
Correct. And then when I do the other type of content, which is either like a roundtable discussion or an interview or whatever, I love talking with people that have either that I agree with, and then I also really like talking to people that I disagree with, and you get different viewpoints or whatever. But it's kind of just put on the mics, go on air, record the audio, and then pair it again to video. I'm crap with video composition, filmography, any of that, and I don't have a Rini to do all that for me, so I just put it to good video and pictures and stuff that friends at the SPVFA and other people sort of put out.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm just quickly adjusting some sound levels here. So, Plater, are you with us?
Yes.
Great.
So, I guess if talking like pre-production, pre-recording, all that kind of stuff when it comes to videos, I'm really slapdash when it comes to doing stuff. I'm a nightmare. I'll come up with an idea and I will just sit there and do it until it's done. I'm really, really bad when it comes to planning ahead. And that's me in life in general. I've had way too much happen that's gone against my plans for me to even start with that. For example, my voice at the moment, it doesn't sound normal. It's damaged through meds that I'm on, and I'm like, okay, cool, well, that means that I can't really record any videos or plan to record videos because my voice might sound like, this weird, squeaky, horrible thing. So I'm like, we won't do that. But I kind of every now and then work on something in the background, do a little bit of writing for a video that isn't going to be time sensitive. Because you've got the news stuff where, there's an announcement comes out, you've got to jump on it straight away. And if I'm able, I'll do it, make a video and get it out there. And then you've got other stuff where, for example, like my Elite Dangerous Wildlife videos that I did, where I would sit, write, record footage, and it'd be months-long process just because it's you have to get it just right. You can't rush it. You have to have the right feel. Plus, I'd have to watch a nature documentary beforehand to get myself in the right mood and get the right use of language and stuff. But yeah, the writing, I hate writing scripts, so...
No. I've also noticed you've been doing a lot more live streams in rather than videos. I guess that works in with not having so much time to plan everything.
Yeah, exactly that. It means that I'm like, I feel up to it today, so I can jump on and I can do it.
Yeah.
rather than a let me plan to do this and then suddenly it all goes wrong.
And Plater, you say that your voice is rough, but I think your voice is perfect for those nature, that Richard Attenborough type.
Yeah.
And here we see the anaconda in the wild.
Well, it is now, but hell, it never used to be. It used to be, I'd sit there and I'd do it and I'd intentionally do that raspy voice, and now I'm just stuck with one. So
Already having some questions in chat, and just as always, we're going to be collecting these questions, and we'll try to go over as many of them as possible. So just if we don't get around to the questions right away, I will try to get around to as many of them as possible. Yamix, I know you have a very different workflow than at least I do. What do you do?
Yeah.
You write like how much do you script your videos?
Right.
How much is made up of the
As a matter
spot?
of fact, we have worked together, haven't we? So,
Exactly, that's why I know.
You have had relative experience as to how my workflow goes and so on and so forth. So, might as well just describe how, we did one video for me first and then one video for you, and how did that go, basically. That should give people insight easily.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I think we did a video together, I can't remember which video it was. But I think usually you make an online document, like a Google Docs or something, and then people write in what they want to say when and where, and then everybody records their own end.
Well, the workflow is, the workflow, basically I work off a script. Very rarely, I mean, these days I have put out a few videos that basically I just don't write any script at all and just go off the cuff. You can actually, if you listen in on the voice and the way I use words and everything else and the structure of the video itself, you can pretty much hear the differences, especially with those unscripted ones. So, usually my MO is write a script, write everything I want to say, notes, details, and what else. Depending on the type of a video it is, it can be even going as far as to full action and camera shots and so on and so forth, just like a Scorpius, right? So honestly, it is very, very close to what the Scorpius does, as a matter of fact. The difference is that because I don't make constant story-like videos and then animated stuff, right? They are commentary or just fun videos or what else, or just something else, right? It not always requires the specific shots. So it's basically in the post where I set the extra visuals and so on and so forth as is required, and so yeah. But for collabs, basically it's usually just making it a file for whatever that people can actually access, and through that basically write in details, and I do try to just put in as simple write-up as possible for folks to just write in whatever they want and be done with, and simplify the work for them. So yeah, usually it's just write in this particular portion, you're done, you record your voice and send it over. Rest is up to yours truly, unless of course my partner or partners want to make their own videos or clips for their parts. They're free to do that, of course, and that's basically the workflow, generally speaking.
Because I've often found that when working together with others, it's really nice to have a more structured script to work off. But when I'm working alone, I normally just write bullet points. And I think the reason why it works for me with those bullet points is because I use face cams in my video. And if I'm reading off a script, I will constantly be looking at the screen and not towards the camera. And so for me, it's just a lot easier to have bullet points, and then, okay, now I need to record. No, what? Sorry, what?
Teleprompter.
Yes, I know I should have a
teleprompter, my friend.
I know, but I don't have a teleprompter. But I could get a teleprompter.
There are cheap ways to make one.
I know.
You need tablet. You just need tablet and a piece of glass. I actually seen a pretty interesting way to make a cheap teleprompter. Literally, there are apps for tablets, right? And you need a piece of glass that would reflect portion of the light, and you put the glass in an angle where it reflects the, teleprompted text, and you put camera behind that glass, slanted glass, right?
Yeah.
And voila, you got a makeshift teleprompter, if you will. Never used it myself, mostly because I'm bad at reading, so yeah. Anyways, carry on.
Okay. So, how much time do you guys usually spend, like, before you even go to the recording part? Like, are we talking? Are we talking days? Are we talking hours? Where are you guys at? Scorp, do you wanna start?
Yeah, sure. Once I've finished writing the script, the recording. Often there's multiple people in my videos, so I have to work around other people's schedules. So I can do my own parts, and like when it comes to like conversations with a couple of people, I'll often imitate them and try and do their voice, and just so that I can bounce back off myself, if that makes any sense. But I honestly prefer having the other person in the room with me while we're recording, because getting that response off of the other person, you can't beat having them in the same place. It's fantastic, but that's not always possible, and especially like now, like with the coronavirus situation, I can't get people in the same room as me to do recording, and I have actually got an episode which I'm pre-producing at the moment. So because I do work in a very step-by-step basis, so I get all my script done, and then I do a read-through with the actors, and then we start recording the audio, and then I start putting the audio together using, I actually use some music software called Mixcraft, and I slide the samples around and change things and cut them about, and then I'll put them through Isotope to clean them up.
Okay.
But yeah, I can spend an enormous amount of time just on the audio, and then I start filming. But it could be weeks. It could be weeks. It's very involved.
Yeah. Kai, I would assume your pre-recording steps must be a lot shorter, being a more news-focused type of content.
Yeah, I mean, so like we already covered, I start a week ahead of time by just always taking notes on everything that I see. But as far as the pre-production stuff, when I do an interview, if it's a roundtable discussion, I just turn on the mic and it goes where it goes. If I'm doing an interview, I make a series of notes based on the person that I'm interviewing, and try to have a couple of places where I want to see if I can get the conversation to go there. So I have a couple of like, all right, aim for this, aim for that. But yeah, it's sort of very free-form, and you just rock out with it. It's not a whole lot of like the videos that you do and that Yamix does, and Plater and Burr and a bunch of other people, I think, require sort of a lot more storyboarding and all of that stuff. My stuff is more off the cuff.
Fair enough. Plater?
It really does depend. It depends kind of like what type of video I'm making. So if it's a reaction to news, or it's a look at a feature, or that type of thing, well, I'm racing you, I'm racing Yamix, and I'm racing Obsidian Ant, which is just near impossible. I honestly don't know how he does it. Like something comes out, and then 3 minutes later he's got a 5-minute video. It's kind of like, how have you done that? But it's, you kind of get into that, right, I need to get something out quick because a new piece of information has come out and everyone wants to click on it. That is a very much right, raw facts, get it all down as quickly as possible, and then you write, record, and then really just slap something over the top of it that looks nice, unless it's a particular thing to look at in game, in which case you go and you hunt for it. But that can be hours. But then sometimes you get something where if you're doing a guide for something, it will take days.
Yeah.
And then if you're doing something pure creative, then as long as you like, because there's no time pressure to it, you don't really have to do anything apart from what you're pushing yourself. Like my Anaconda wildlife video, we filmed that on a stream a year before I put it up on my channel, because I just had to be in the right mood to edit it and put it together. And it had to be the right time for me to be able to do it, plus write the audio and record it with a ridiculously raspy voice. And it's it was a difficult one to put together. But yeah, I mean that took a year. So
fair enough. Yamix, Yamix.
Right, so how long does it take to make a video? It's sometimes an hour. It's sometimes more than a week. But basically, the average 5-minute video, let's say it usually takes about 2 to 3 hours to script for me, depending on the ease and the passion of the topic. But yeah, it's about 2 to 3 hours to just make sure that the fucking script actually makes sense and all that stuff. And is structured at least decently enough. It has enough tempo and what else. It has enough, light and dark sides, if you will. The humorous or not non-humorous ones, depending on the topic. Then filming, due to saving footage and all that stuff, it usually can take no filming at all because I already have the topic, the footage laying around, or. Well, filming is an interesting one that usually takes upwards to 4 hours, depending again on things that needs to be done. But yeah, usually 4 hours. And editing is well, it kind of is dependent on the severity of needed edits, as well as the structure, as well as the quality and what else. But I'd say it takes around 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours for more animated, especially for something like what the Scorpius does. It's usually laughed at that 10 seconds is an hour's work or more. So the more animated, the more involved it is. Obviously, the longer it will take, and the compression is quite a bit different. As a matter of fact, I've tried making animation in several different ways, and it always takes even 1 second or 2 seconds, fucking hour or more, just to make sure that the positioning of characters and items and what else is in place. But for simpler things, again, 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours for a 5-minute video. And and then of course tagging, thumbnails and what else. If you want to be lazy, just slap it on and pop it out, right? But I try to just put in at least a little bit, and my thumbnails still suck, so I don't know. So there you go. Conversion time, I'd say if I actually calculated my conversion time, basically 1 minute to hour the rate. It's usually 1 to 2, give or take. So 1 minute in video is usually 2 hours in real life. So about 10 hours for 5-minute video or more. So there you go.
That's actually quite a bit longer than I use. I think I use an average about 5 to 6 hours on a 10-minute video.
I mean, the fastest I've pushed out a video is about 2 hours if it's completely unscripted and then just slapdash thingamajig that I've experimented in recent times, and surprisingly been positive response, but I never like a slapdash approach, because yeah, sure, you get views, but it's just there's little quality, and you hear yourself stumble, mumble, and whatnot else, and you just want to get the fucking point across, and well, it's just not quality for me. It doesn't smell like effort for me, and you know me, I can't constantly barrage developers, different kinds of developers, for not putting in effort, and seeing myself not being able to put it in, or not putting it in on purpose. It's just no.
Fair point.
You done been lazy. I'm redo it. So, but yeah, experimentation. So there you go.
I was going to take a few quick questions from chat. Someone's asking where Obsidian Ant is. He was invited, but was unfortunately not able to make it.
Is that Jim?
No, I didn't invite Ant. Wasn't able to make it, so that's why he's not here today. There was a question regarding equipment-wise, more talking about hardware. What kind of microphone do you guys use, and what else if you have anything other special equipment you use? Let's take it in the reverse order this time. Yamix.
Right, microphone. It's Behringer XM 8500 and also Behringer's audio interface. Essentially, both of the fucking things cost me around 60 euros together. So audio interface about 25 and microphone about I think it was 30 or so. So yeah, it's very cheap, but it's an XLR setup, and even though I don't think the Discord it sounds that well, but on videos you can certainly hear a bit better quality and what else. So there you go. And it costs basically the same as my previous microphone, which was Snowball, Blue Snowball, right? And that is a USB mic, and yeah, and it's a good mic. Right, Snowball is a good mic, but it picks up reverb a bit too much, and XLR is so much better, and it's surprisingly also cheap. Right, as I said, it's the same price as I got the Snowball plus it's audio interface, which I can use for many mics, and mic itself costs very little. So yeah, XLR is an interesting setup. There's of course the Stream Deck. There's but yeah, that's audio, right? And before Snowball, oh god, my very earlier videos used essentially a fucking microphone from headset that I had. So no bueno. So there you go.
Okay, Plater, what do you use?
I use a Blue Snowball.
Yay!
After Yamik saying that, so I didn't.
No, it's good mic. It's good mic.
No, I mean.
If you have a decent room, right, it's okay.
Yeah, I had a Snowball as well. It's not a bad microphone.
You know, I'm quite lucky because I say I'm lucky because I live in a studio flat. At the moment, I really don't feel that lucky. But the because it's quite close to the sofa, the bed, curtains, all that kind of stuff. I feel like it's quite good on that sense. I've got a mic with a pop filter on. Nothing too extreme. I don't have a Stream Deck or anything like that, just because. I don't have. For me, it's still very much a hobby, content creation and stuff like that. And I do like having cool stuff, and having gadgets. But I'd rather have them in a different direction.
Thanks
so
for the content
I'm
and all the
primarily
information
a gamer
you
more than a
share.
content creator these days. So I like to spend money on a nice mouse. Got like a Razer Basilisk, for example, and I love it. Huge upgrade because I had a Corsair thing before and it broke. And it was like, oh, nightmare.
Was the Basilisk with 12 buttons for the thumb? No?
No, not that one.
Oh, right, it was different one.
Yeah, it was a different one. Where you've got the option where you can remove it or you can put in the little thumb pad and the directional pad on it. I was like, oh, that's a bit much because I'm not going to use it. But yeah, I mean, hardware-wise, that's kind of for the recording. That's what I got.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and I do have a camera on. I've got the Logitech C920. It's you can't get it on Amazon at the moment because everyone's using it.
Yeah, for Zoom meetings. Yeah, okay, but like a decent Logitech webcam. Kai?
Yeah.
What are you using?
So I am on staff at Sagittarius Eye, and for reading for them for different things for the episodes, they had recommended to me the Neewer NW7000. That's NEEWER NW7000.
Go again.
N as in Nancy, EEWER NW-7000. So they recommended this. This is the one that they recommend to all of their sort of staff. That I had a crap mic, and they were like, hey, we really like the reads that you did, but it took a lot of work to clean up your mic. Is there any way you could get this one? We recommend it to people. And it's literally like a $30 mic. Somebody in chat just said that sounds like a fancy mic or whatever. It is very, very cheap. You can get it for like 30-40 bucks. It's got a boom arm, it's got a pop filter, it's got one of those whatever that thing is that makes it to where if you move it, it doesn't like shake or rattle. It's a decent mic.
Shock mount.
Thank you very much, Yamix.
But I think it's amazing how much audio quality you can get for like just a step up from a boom mic on a headset for very very little.
Yeah, it's literally like 30 bucks. And then I just record in Audacity, and I have a sound guy that helps me out. He's like a professional sound engineer. So what I do is I record the stuff, and then I send it to him, and he's got like thousands of dollars of equipment because he like professionally records bands and like people for like presentations or whatever, for like commercials, TV commercials, whatever. So he runs it through his thousands of dollars of equipment and then just sends me back the cleaned up product, and then I just post that.
Perfect. Scorp?
I'm using a Blue Yeti that's on a shock mount and a boom arm.
Yeah.
Is it the Yeti of the USB kind or XLR kind?
It's a USB. I found it to be a really good mic. For a while, I was actually using the headset mic on my HyperX Cloud 2 headset. That was good for some things, but because it's a condenser mic on the end, but the direction that thing is facing is very important. So if you've got it just facing the nose ever so slightly, you end up picking up everybody's nostril hairs. It's not so much fun. But yeah, I found the Blue Yeti really good.
Just for the people in chat who may not be savvy in microphone terms, a condenser microphone is a directional microphone, meaning it picks up what's right in front of it in a tight cone, but it rejects what's around it. Right?
Yeah, it depends on each microphone, of course, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I've also had to do, and Yamix was mentioning this to do with, they pick up reverb really well, is I've had to put a load of acoustic tiles in the corner of this room where I'm talking to try and dampen it somewhat. But depending on the modes that you've got depending on the mode that you've got the Yeti in, it can be directional, or it can be for recording a band or whatever.
Let's move on and let's have a chat on. A lot of people have been asking regarding like what kind of recording software and editing software and that side of it. So let's move over to the whole pre-recording phase and let's go to the actual editing phase. And let's just let's start with Kai this time. Kai, what do you do for editing software and why have you chosen what you've chosen?
So again, for me, it's kind of a cheat. I edit somewhat in Audacity, but then I just send the file to my friend who has like a professional setup, and I don't know what he uses, but it's really good.
Okay, so you have somebody else who does the editing.
Well, yeah, I edit for content myself. With regard to but I don't really like to edit that much content-wise because if you're having a conversation with somebody, you don't want to cut out stuff. It may sort of cheapen what they're saying or distort something, and I don't want to give off an unfair or sort of actual response. So, yeah, the little bit of editing for content. When I edit for content, it's basically on my news roundup show because I misspoke or coughed, sneezed, was dragging out, trying to come up with a point, whatever, and then I'll edit that to tighten it and make it right. And then, like I said, he just edits for sound quality.
Okay, fair enough. Later, software side.
So software, I record using Audacity because it's free. I also do the noise removal in Audacity as well. Occasionally I have to edit out my cat meowing. That's one of the big ones. That, and I have this really bad habit
Clive.
yeah, classic Clive. He used to put in an appearance the same time every night when I streamed, but he's quietened down recently. But I've got this when I talk sometimes, and it drives me insane. I don't realize I've done it, and then I listen back to my recording and it's there, and it's like, oh god. So I have to remove them.
Yeah, I try to hunt those noises out as like religiously when I'm editing.
And the that inward breath that we do always happens. Then for editing my video side of things, I use Vegas 14.
Yeah.
For that, and obviously recording, I use OBS.
Why Vegas? I use the same, but I want to see the same reason.
I got it because I'm a total cheapskate, and it was really cheap on Humble Bundle. So I bought it then.
Yeah.
And it was like £19. So I was like, yeah, cool, I'll give that a go. And it's better than the Windows Media Maker that I was using beforehand.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh God.
We all had to start somewhere.
Oh,
Exactly.
God. We're all Vegas men here, I suppose, aside from Kai, I'd say. So yeah, me, Down to Earth, and Plater, we're all using Vegas. And I think as Corbius, you were Adobe, man?
Yeah, I'm Adobe.
Yeah, there you go. So you're the odd man out in a really odd setting. Because the thing is, back in the day, right, Vegas was actually the main editing software that everyone was going for, but they stopped kind of developing it around, I think it was Vegas 11 or 10, I think it was, and then that's when Adobe basically took over the whole landscape of being the main editing tool. But regardless, yeah, I use Vegas 17 these days, and what else. I've gone through basically every Vegas version since like 11. No wait, since like 9th version. So yeah, basically that's my choice of editing software. Though there are massive issues with Vegas, honestly, and I'm rather looking at DaVinci at this point. Probably will
The
one of these
crashes,
days test it
the
out. Yeah, Vegas 17 has such a fucking temper tantrum, especially when I was editing the last 40-minute video, right? Just it can't pick up more than 32 gigabytes of RAM. Like, come on, okay? You can't edit any big fucking projects on Vegas anymore these days, right? Especially 4K, and I wasn't even doing 4K. So there's that constant crashing. The GPU assisted preview basically is broken ever since the beginning. Rendering is just as fine as every other thing, so output wise it doesn't really matter, though it crashes even on those sometimes. I hate when basically I made that 40-minute video, right, and then there are two specific segments, specific frames where it just simply stops rendering, right?
Yeah.
And I need to basically put in a picture instead of a video, right? Or something if I have a freeze frame there, right? And that's when it decides, oh, now I can edit or rather render it finally fully through. Herp-a-derp. But yeah, so yeah, Vegas essentially has been my choice of video editor, mainly because it is the most intuitive. I've tried Adobe time and time again. It's just I hate Adobe's fucking interface. It's so annoying. It truly is. I hate it. Just to fade in or fade out a clip, you need to press like fucking 5 buttons. Well, I'm exaggerating, but the point there is, while in Vegas you just drag one fucking thing, done, right? Plugin wise and environment wise, Vegas is definitely inferior, clearly, and all that stuff. So there's that. But for basic editing, Vegas is wonderful. I've tried my hand also in HitFilm. HitFilm actually is good for starting. It's very similar to Vegas. It's very intuitive, but it doesn't have a lot of plugins, even on the paid version, and then additional things that again Vegas has. But it is promising. However, if you want to edit stuff and go for color stuff, definitely DaVinci, man. DaVinci is awesome. Still need to, properly poke it myself, but there you go. As for audio, right? Audio is Audacity, just like everyone else. It's a free tool that has a lot of wonderful plugins that can be used for a lot of wonderful things. Editing-wise, it's not the best and easiest thing to use, but it's really good. Still, the options that it gives just amazing. So, Audacity, good job. And the recording, right? So OBS when the game doesn't want to cooperate, the X-Story when I need the best quality, and Shadow Play when I'm lazy. There you go. That's easy. Yes.
Astro, can I ask Yamex a question about his last video?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have to know. For the exploding diarrhea shot where your legs come out shooting out of the bathroom with your pants around your ankles, was that on a tripod setup, or did you actually have like your I don't know, wife, mom, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you have in your life standing in the hallway to capture that shot.
I could only wish I would have a camera assistant. I have a tripod.
Okay.
The thing is, oftentimes, especially in those real life shots that I use in my videos in the recent times, you can see that unless I'm actually holding the camera and doing things, even then, right? I first of all lack the technical knowledge of how to use it, lighting, and especially if I film myself, right? It's not very centered many times, as a matter of fact. So that is kind of hard thing to do alone, truly. So it's always wonderful if there's somebody behind the camera and making sure at least that the shot is centered, right? And what else are properly lit. So
Well,
that
the
is
composition,
kind of the issue.
the composition on that shot has to be one of my top 5 all-time favorite shots of a guy kicking his feet with his pants around his ankles into a
The first time I edited that
hallway.
portion, right? The first time I edited that portion, I was laughing silly. Like, yeah, it took myself by surprise. I had that perfect idea in my mind, just like as Scorpius says, you usually script out these things, and that was one of the things I scripted out, as in an action shot or whatnot else. And even that took me by surprise, knowing what is coming, right? So, yeah, that was wonderful. So, there you go.
Hey, Scorpius, do you want to go over your software of choice?
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So for recording footage from the game, I always use OBS because I've had very low success with Shadowplay when it comes to importing the footage into something else. So for audio, I use Mixcraft, as I said before, and then I clean it all up using Isotope RX7. It's got some very good filters for removing breaths, pops, S's, and all that good stuff. So that cleans up really nicely. For 3D stuff, I use DAZ Studio, Blender, iClone, Character Creator, and then to get it all together, I use Adobe After Effects with the Element 3D plugin as well, and Trapco Particulate as well to make explosions and things like that. And then 4 months has gone by.
Yeah. I use, as everybody else, use Audacity for most amount of all my audio recording. I do very little actually editing in Audacity. I just use it for capturing, do a little bit of noise suppression, and then I do all the actual cutting the audio up and taking the segments I need in Vegas as well. Equipment-wise, I'm on a red shotgun mic on a boom arm, and also have an XLR microphone also running on a small small mixer board. Then I have the most overkill face cam in the history of face cam. It's a Panasonic HCX1. They used that to record the Olympics in London, and I was planning to do a lot more real life videos, go out and record outside, and that's why I got a fancy camera. But well, now you don't really go outside. At least not if you want to stick by the rules.
What's outside?
Only our neighbors.
All your neighbors.
Yeah, but you have the unfair advantage of like 30 or 40 little bunny assistants to keep you company.
Exactly. Just strap the camera to the back of a bunny, and then you have your
Bunny
your
GoPro.
Bunny GoPro, yeah. No, but as long as as soon as you begin to go into video, then there's of course the whole lighting. You need to think about that, and the one secret to making good video is just have way too much light. The more light you have, the better, because you can always tone down the sensitivity on the camera, but tuning it up is not going to give you a great result. And then I have stuff like what I was looking for before, like oops, ship is about to be bumped together by an asteroid. Here we go. Like running with a small
the squeaky toy sound.
Yeah, I have like a color chart that I use for if I need to calibrate the camera, so I can just hold that up in front of the camera and then calibrate colors and okay, rip. Okay, so we've gone through the recording and the editing side of it. Yes, okay.
You're also doing You're also doing like a major renovation to your little filming
Yes.
room where you're adding that sort of lower roof so that you don't get as much reverb and all. That's a big project.
It is, and it's gonna take a day.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting. We gotta add in I just ordered like some, what's they called, like these foam boards with like small cone like triangular pyramid shaped things on.
Yeah, acoustic tiles.
Yeah, exactly. To try and dampen out some of the reverb in the room. So hopefully that's gonna be helping the audio quite a bit. And also not recording a green screen into a corner, I think, is also gonna be be great.
Well, with those extra, like you have the 2 extra side lights, you really get it. Yeah.
Yeah, but still,
it's got to make it hot for you on a hot day. You got to be like really cooking.
It is. If you watch one of my live streams in the summer or just now, and you compare my face at the beginning of the live stream versus at the end, I am noticeably more red because temperatures like 2 hours, and then it really begins to get hot in here, and it's hot in here right now. And the only thing you can do is open a window, but then you get, well, noise from outside, and you get like I have blackout curtains to avoid sunlight, because if I get sunlight on the back screen, then the chroma key just completely disappears. What happens to my limpets? Hold on. There we go. So yeah, as soon as you go down the route of having a camera, then a lot of things become a lot more complicated.
And I quite enjoyed your away team video, the one that there was that one video that you recorded where you were walking through a park, I guess on your lunch break or whatever, talking about like, I think that was when they were talking about Beetlejuice was like brighter or whatever, or was that when they were talking about Persephone? One of the two.
Yeah, there's been a couple of these, but yeah, spacewalks. Yeah, but that's a whole lot of like the difference with those type of videos is when you want to shoot outside, I prefer to do it on a day without too much wind and a light cloud cover, not to get the hard direct sunlight, but you kind of get a more soft light from the cloud cover. So the final thing I hope you guys have a few more minutes. I just quickly want to talk about is like the general how far in advance you upload videos versus when you begin to publish, because I usually try to I make my videos 1 week in advance. So that means this week I've been doing the videos that are going to be published next week. So I always have a 1 week buffer. Of course, unless you have time-sensitive content that could be Frontier announces something new or something like that. You don't want to wait a week with getting that video out. You're going to push that out a little earlier. But what do you guys do? How is it just upload, publish, go? Or do you publish them and upload them in advance? Yamix?
Right. I actually, for a little while I was doing, I usually try to at least have 1 week in advance, if not more. Most of I had was about 4 weeks in advance, so that's basically 8 videos in advance, since I try to publish twice a week. Right now I'm experimenting with a bit different formats and a bit different publishing style, so yeah, basically everything that I do is just to find mediums and never sort of stick with one thing, which often is to detriment of myself, as I saw a little while back, but that's a different story. So yeah, when it comes to publishing stuff, it's obviously news. Well, that if I decide to compete with Astro here or Obsidian, what else on the hot takes and blah blah blah, I obviously that's an immediate push without even scripting oftentimes, and that's where you can feel those still lazier attempts in making videos for myself, and. But when it comes to larger videos, often it can just be, I don't know, it's honestly I try to just publish it as soon as I can, not to sort of marinate the poor little video for a long time. There was actually let's see, which video was it that I marinated for a long time? Oh gods, I don't even remember, but I remember that I managed to sort of put off publishing one specific video for almost a month. just because I had something new coming up or a new idea that I decided it's more important to put out. So that's sort of a thing.
Yeah,
But no,
that's happened
it's
to me as well.
basically make a video next release date after possible, well, rather basically next possible release date that I set for myself. These days, just as soon as I can publish. That's the thing I'm trying to do right now, rather than keeping some sort of a schedule. Though I do try to keep at least a little bit of it.
Fair enough. Plato?
Yeah, this is where the slapdash thing comes in for me. Is that I will typically not make a video unless I want it out that day, or that's normally I'm quite
Spontaneous.
So I was always the person that would leave homework till the last minute at school. I was always the person that would be doing all-nighters at university, and I was always the person that when's given a deadline, I'll meet the deadline. Don't worry about that. Just don't ask me if I've done it beforehand, because you'll get it when it's ready. Yeah, I'm that kind of person. So for me, that's kind of how I do my video production. But that said, like I said, I spent a year working on the Anaconda wildlife video, just sitting on it, chipping in here and there, coming back to it. And I feel like the longer I have something sat, unrendered, the more times I'm going to go back and start tweaking it, or change my mind about something, or that type of thing. And I try really not to do that, because if I've written a video, I've got a script, I've recorded it, that's how I felt at that time when making that video. So that's me, that's my opinion right then and there. So that should be what gets pushed out. But yeah, a lot of the time it's same day, or I'll maybe have 2 days tops. But I rarely sit on something unless, for some weird reason, I've produced more than one video at a time, which I have done before. And it's weird because you upload them and then you're like, oh no, but now something else has happened. And I don't like putting 2 videos out on the same day on the channel, because you don't get the same number of views.
No,
it's not a very good idea. Not even
exactly.
Large million subscriber channels that put out a video a day. They always stick to 1 video a day.
Exactly. And I try and avoid live streaming at the same day that I put a video up as well, because it detracts again, and it'll fill people's sub boxes. And there's that kind of thing you've got to think about.
It doesn't, because I have literally put out a video and then streamed like an hour later, and no real difference. I don't know.
Could depend on topic or topical video, because if you've got something that's kind of like a hot topic and then you put the video out, people will watch that because it is a hot topic. Versus, if you put like a cinematic video out, for example, and then you were to do a live stream immediately after. But then again, it could just be purely down to the content of the video.
It could also...
It's difficult to do.
Yeah, go ahead, Kai.
I would also be interested to see if would change based on if it's a video first and then a stream versus a stream first and then a video. And then also it could be tied to, like, if the video is something that's super hot news, like, beta changes or beta announcement or something like that, and then you stream right afterwards, that might sort of, if it's a general video like, oh, this is a mining build of a ship or whatever, you might have a high drop off. But if it's something that has like a massive engagement situation, like beta news or some really hot news, it might actually go the other way, because people might be like, oh, there's more on this topic I want to hear. I don't know.
I've seen some other YouTubers I follow that actually use their videos to say, oh, and remember, as soon as this video is live, I'm gonna be live over on whatever, wherever they're streaming, right? So I kind of use it to as an announcement of the live stream. But Kai, your upload schedule versus lead week, I assume that must be pretty short between upload and publish.
Correct. I have a few projects in the works that are going to be of a different nature, that are going to sort of be pre-done and set up and held and scheduled, like the way you and Yamix were talking about. But the vast majority of my content to date has been finish it and publish it, go, just like Plater was saying.
Scorpius.
Right, so for me, when the project's actually finally finished, all the music in place and it's all rendered, because rendering takes ages, then it's like, okay, so what day is it going to go live? Maybe if it's not a good day to push it live, I'll wait for a little bit. very unlikely that I do that. What I do though is if it's a story video, I will make it unlisted and then put it to my Patreon subscribers so that they can see it first for 24 hours. Then I'll make it live for everyone else. But yeah, like if it's something like with the the fleet carrier announcement stuff, I had issues with some of that stuff, so I made a video about it. And apart from talking to Yamix and a couple of others about it, like should I post this? Should I post it? They're like, yes, post it. Oh, okay, because I was really worried about posting something like that. It was so off-brand for me, but it struck a chord. I'm glad I posted it when I did. But if I could have waited, and then no one would have seen it.
I mean, you also did that working from home thing, right? That's also quite different type, right? Wasn't that you that?
Oh, that is different. Yeah. But that was because a lot of people were working from home for the first time, and I've been doing it for years. So I wanted to just give some people some thoughts on how best to do it without going crazy.
That was a great video, man.
Thanks.
Okay, and just quickly check if we have any more questions we need to cover. Just quickly running through the list here. Lots of questions about unrelated stuff. We're gonna go over those in a second. No, I think we are okay now. We also went a little bit over time, but thank you guys for taking the time to drop by and have a chat with me and giving people a little sneak peek behind the curtains, see what happens when before the videos go live, at least.
Well, thanks for having us on, and congratulations on the 50k, mate.
Thank you.
Hey, big congratulations.
Thank
you
you
have a
guys.
lot of people in your chat through the whole episode that have been saying, hey, I want a down-to-earth astronomy mug. So that's keeping that in mind for your next giveaway, because people really like your mugs.
I might have to add that as I saw there were some people who were requesting that it would be added as an additional price. We might do. I might look into that, draw an extra winner, and then give away a mug or a T-shirt or something if people.
In the meantime, anyone can scroll down to the bottom there and click on the little link in the merch store and make yourself a winner for a very limited price.
God, how much are you being paid?
Okay, thank you guys. Oh, that's a good rock. Thank you guys for dropping by. It was really a pleasure having you and for sharing some of the behind the scenes stuff. And I'm gonna drag you guys back up to the other room, and then I'm gonna go over to the gonna look at the giveaways again, and we're gonna draw some winners. Okay, let's get this thing here gone again, so we don't have that on the screen. Okay. Let me just quickly get in game here. Okay, great. So, I guess now it is the very interesting time. And that is we need to draw some winners. I'm going to give you a one final chance. Whoops, where does that go? There it is. I want to give you a final chance to sign up for the giveaway if you haven't done already. We're just going to quickly run over the prices, and there's a link in the description and probably in chat in a few seconds. The prices are as follows. The main price, sponsored by GameGlass, we have on earlier today, is a 10-inch Fire tablet from Amazon with a 1-year subscription to GameGlass. This allows you to get access to all the different shards that they have for a full year, so you can try it out for yourself. The second price is 85,000 arcs for Elite Dangerous. Pretty much allow you to buy whatever ship kit or paint job that you might want. And also give you a chance to kit out pretty much your whole fleet and your fleet carrier. We don't know what they're going to cost yet, but you can probably kit out a fleet carrier with some nice paint jobs and ship kits as well. And finally, sponsored by me, there is a X52 Pro HOTAS up for grabs that you can win. And I think I will just throw in another mock for as an additional price as well. So that will be a D2EA limited time mock up for grab as well. So I'm just gonna go in. Link is in the chat, in the description. You can go and sign up for the giveaway there. But while while you give you guys some time, I'm just gonna jump over here on the other camera, because then I can just go in and set up for the additional winner. Because what I will do is I will, even though we have now 4 prizes, gonna throw in that mug as an additional prize. I will be drawing 2 extra winners who won't get anything immediately. However, so this is how it's gonna work. I'm gonna draw now 6 winners, 4 prizes, so 6 winners. Person number 1 gets the fire tablet. Person number 2 gets the arc. 3 gets the hostess, and 4 will get the mug. I will write to those people in the email they signed up with, and they will have 48 hours from when I send the email to reply back to me with shipping information, so I can send the stuff that you win to you guys. If you don't reply back within those 48 hours, I will take that prize and I will send it to the next person on the list who hasn't received the prize. If, I guess, for instance, you win one of the prizes and you're more interested in one of the other prizes, we'll figure that out. And if that person who originally won that prize don't reply back, we can do some switcheroo here. So do keep your keep an eye on your email, so we get a chance to win that. I'm just gonna quickly go in here now, and I'm going to edit the number of winners to 6. I'm gonna save that, so that should now be changed. Yes, it is. Yes, 6 prizes have been drawn, or have not been drawn, but okay, this is the absolute final. I entered using Twitter on Gleam. Is my email included for you when I enter that way? Yes, it should. At least if I do not have an email for okay, so when I draw the winners here in a second, I'm gonna do it with the face cam on, because it does display people's emails, and I don't want to live stream people's emails, so I'm just gonna announce the winners. You can go to the link itself, and you can see the winners there as well as I announce them. But if I do not have an email, but I do have let's say I have a Twitter handle instead, then I will let you know now here in a few seconds when we actually draw the winners. But I think it's time to, without further ado, to go ahead and say draw winners. I want to draw 6 winners. We're not going to allow repeat winners, and we're going to click draw. And winners has now officially been drawn, and I can confirm that I have emails on all the winners. Perfect. So, winner of the Fire Tablet, the 10-inch Fire Tablet from Amazon, and the 1-year subscription to GameGlass is Jeffrey. No, sorry, not Jeffrey. George. It's George from Chicago, USA, in the US. George with a last name starting with a J. George J from Chicago. I don't know if you're in chat. If you are, congratulations. And for the 85,000 arcs, we have, wow, how is that pronounced? It is Leigton, L-E-I-G-H ton, T-O-N. Leigton, I guess, from Oldham. Oldham? Is that a place? Oldham in the United Kingdom. Anyway, I will get in touch with you after the drop that. I'll get in touch with you after the live stream to get you the arcs for the X52 Pro. We have wow. Okay, let me try that again. Batuhan, I guess, from Turkey, from Masin in Turkey. So I'm gonna be shipping a hostess to Turkey. I have no idea if you are in chat. Batuhan K from Turkey, congratulations on a brand new hostess. Again, I'll be contacting you after the live stream. Then we have the mug. And the mug is gonna go out to a Ultimate Legit, I think it is. Also from Oldham in there's a lot of people from Oldham. Hope it's not the same person with with 2 different emails. But Ultimate Legit got yourself a mug. Congratulations. And we have 2 additional, of course, winners who is not gonna get that's not gonna get anything immediately, but I will contact if any of the other winners does not get back to me. We have a Barry from Lumberton, is that a place as well? Okay, Lumberton in the US, who's going to be one of the backup winners in case someone doesn't get back to me. And we have a Chris from Stoke Newington in the UK as well. Stoke Newington. Wow, there's a lot of interesting places. That says give them a mock. Okay, you know what? The 2 last people as well. So the 3 last people. If they don't get anything else, I'll send them a mock as a little bonus as well. So that'll be I'll get in contact with those guys as well as we see what happens here. Anyway, keep your eye on your email if one of those were you, because as soon as this live stream is over, I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna begin sending out emails to all the winners. But just quickly get us back in game, because I think I can't remember how much did I manage to mine here. Probably not a whole lot, did I? 42 tons. That's not too bad, is it? I'll probably just go and sell that. Not sure I'm gonna finish the trip now, because it is getting quite hot in here with all the lamps turned on. Anyway, congratulations to all you guys. Thanks a lot to all you guys who have been watching today. Let me just get over to the right screen here. There we go. Congratulations to all you guys who won something. I really hope you guys enjoyed this this celebration. With this live stream, this concludes the celebration events. But of course, there is still a lot of good content to come out on the channel regarding Elite Dangerous. And next time we live streaming will most likely be Monday. I have my fingers crossed I can manage to get a live stream going on Monday for the fleet carrier beta, so we can go ahead and check out the changes that Frontier's made to the fleet carriers. If not, then it will be on my usual spot on Tuesday. But I'm hoping and counting on me getting a live stream going on Monday, so we can go ahead and check that out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I would be really happy if you would, helping me towards the next milestone, which is probably going to be 100k. That's going to be a really big one, and I will have to figure out something to top this one with some more prizes to give away. Thanks a lot again to all the guys who have been joining me today, to Andy and to Craig from GameGlass, to Scorpius, to Yamix, to Kai, Plater, who joined me here for the last section. And thank you to Donkalora, who has been helping me collecting questions and keeping everything up to date. Someone is asking if I'm streaming to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Yes, I am. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give the live stream a like if you haven't done already. And until next time, I will see you guys in space.